The Iran-Iraq War was an armed conflict between the Islamic Republic of Iran and the Republic of Iraq lasting from September 1980 to August 1988, making it the 20th century's longest conventional war. It was initially referred to in English as the Gulf War prior to the Persian Gulf War of the early 1990s. The Iran-Iraq War began when Iraq invaded Iran via air and land on the 22nd of September 1980. It followed a long history of border disputes, and was motivated by fears that the Iranian Revolution in 1979 would inspire insurgency among Iraq's long-suppressed Shia majority, as well as Iraq's desire to replace Iran as the dominant Persian Gulf state. Although Iraq hoped to take advantage of Iran's revolutionary chaos and attacked without formal warning, it made only limited progress into Iran and was quickly repelled. Iran regained virtually all lost territory by June 1982. For the next 6 years, Iran was on the offensive. A number of proxy forces participated in the war, most notably the Iranian Mujahideen-e-Khalq siding with Ba'athist Iraq and Iraqi Kurdish militias of Kurdistan Democratic Party and Patriotic Union of Kurdistan siding with Iran, all suffering a major blow by the end of the conflict. Despite calls for a ceasefire by the United Nations Security Council, hostilities continued until the 20th of August 1988. The war finally ended with Resolution 598, a UN-brokered ceasefire which was accepted by both sides. At the war's conclusion, it took several weeks for Iranian armed forces to evacuate Iraqi territory to honor pre-war international borders set by the 1975 Algiers Agreement. The last prisoners of war were exchanged in 2003. The war cost both sides in lives and economic damage. 500,000 Iraqi and Iranian soldiers, with an equivalent number of civilians, are believed to have died, with many more injured. However, the war brought neither reparations nor changes in borders. The conflict has been compared to World War I in terms of the tactics used, including large-scale trench warfare with barbed wire stretched across trenches, manned machine gun posts, bayonet charges, human wave attacks across a no-man's land, and extensive use of chemical weapons such as mustard gas by the Iraqi government against Iranian troops, civilians, and Iraqi Kurds. Many Muslim countries along with Western countries supported Iraq with loans, military equipment and satellite imagery during Iraqi attacks against Iranian targets. At the time of the conflict, the UN Security Council issued statements that chemical weapons had been used in the war. UN statements never clarified that only Iraq was using chemical weapons, and according to retrospective authors, the international community remained silent as Iraq used weapons of mass destruction against Iranians, as well as Iraqi Kurds. The UN Security Council did not identify Iraq as the aggressor of the war until the 11th of December 1991, some 12 years after Iraq invaded Iran and 16 months following Iraq's invasion of Kuwait. Terminology. The Iran-Iraq War was originally referred to as the Gulf War until the Persian Gulf War of 1990 and 1991, after which it was referred to as the First Persian Gulf War. The Iraq-Kuwait conflict, which was originally known as the Second Persian Gulf War, eventually became known simply as the Gulf War. The Iraq War from 2003 to 2011 has since been called the Second Persian Gulf War. It is now most commonly called the Iran-Iraq War. In Iran, the war is known as the Imposed War and the Holy Defense. State media in Iraq dubbed the war Saddam's Qadisiyah, in reference to the 7th century Battle of al-Qadisiyah, in which Arab Muslim warriors overcame the pre-Islamic Sasanian Empire of Iran.